Hi everyone and welcome to a new video. In this video we're going to take another look at the Helium network, and I'm going to answer the most important question that all of you guys have, and that is how much will you make if you buy a hotspot right now and use it on your own location. If you like the sound of that, be sure to hit that like button and do not forget to subscribe at the end of the video. So very important, in this video I'm not going to explain what the Helium network is. If you want to find out more, just take a look at my other videos. One of them will pop up in the top right corner of this video right now. So if you know what Helium is and you're ready to invest in one of those IoT miners, then this is probably the next video that you should watch. In my last video, I used the combination of the Helium Explorer, Helium Place, an RF modeling tool, and then combined it all together to see if it was a good idea to place a hotspot in your location, yes or no. But today I have got some really great news. On the website hotspotrf.com, you can actually find a tool that combines all of the different tools that I used in my last video. So this is really easy, and the best news is right now you can still sign up for free and you'll get 10 credits to try out the tool. And usually if you're just looking to place 1 or 2 hotspots, 10 credits is definitely enough. So the first thing you do is sign up for free. Then you make up a username, fill in your email address, fill in a password, and then click on the confirmation link that you get by email. That's it. Once you are logged in, you go to Portal and you can start using the tool. So right now we are in the US, right next to San Francisco over here. As you can see, it is very crowded. So the first thing you do is go to your location. You can type it in here, or you can even type in the name of a specific hotspot if you want to jump to the hotspot that you already have or that you are looking to connect with. So in this case, we'll just stay right here. So you click on the map. I'll click here, which is the middle of Oakland. As you guys probably know, I am not from the US, so it is very interesting to try different terrain. Once you click on your location, it is time to fill in your settings. So the first thing we do is frequency. Right now we're in the US, so we'll take this one. Next thing is we fill in the gain of the antenna. Then we have cable loss. If you're using the stock antenna, this will always be 0. And if you're just using 1 or 2 meter cables, you can also leave this at 0. Then we fill in the height. This of course is very important, as we'll see in just a second. And then we have to guess what kind of terrain that we have. I think for most of us it will be urban or suburbs. If you're really certain that you can actually, from the position that you're going to put the hotspot, see the other hotspot, which means you'll have clear line of sight, you can take this one. But I think most of us will use either one of these. Now I know if you are not into the whole Helium thing yet, some of this might sound like Chinese, and thankfully the guys of HotspotRF made a setup guide. It is very easy to use. Just click here and that will take you to this 5-minute or maybe 3-minute article. So we'll quickly go over it. So the frequency, just choose the location that you're in. If you're still not certain with this very easy to use guide, you can go to the thingsnetwork.org and go to the article of frequency plans by country and just look up your country, and then you find all the frequencies for the IoT network. As usual, I'll put a link to this page in the description of this video. Next up is our antenna. Again, they made it super easy for us. Just take a look at which one you bought. RAC, Nebra, Syncrobit, Bobcat, and then you'll find the exact value right here. So you can just simply copy and paste it. Then the cable loss, we talked about it. If you're using the stock antenna, it will be 0. The next thing we have is height, and because the tool is developed in the US, we have the imperial system, not the metric system, but normally next month they will also add the metric system. So for now, you don't even have to do any calculations, just use these values. If it's on the first floor, use 5, if it's second floor, 15, and so forth. Then we're talking about terrain. And basically it sums up what I just told you guys, but if you're in doubt, just read this little part and you are good to go. That's it. This is all you need to know to fill in your configuration. So once we've filled everything in, and let's just say we're in the suburbs. Sadly, I don't know this location, so I'm just guessing. Next thing you do is click Simulate Location. Boom! That is everything that you need to do. So right now, what you see here, this color map is basically the radio frequency map, and everything that is in the colored zone should be a hotspot that you can reach. Of course, this is not an exact science, but it will give you a really good idea of what is possible. So at this point you can make a very easy conclusion. So you can either see that you can reach different hotspots, which is very good news, you're ready and good to go, or you can't reach any other hotspots. If you can't reach any other hotspots, but there is a hotspot pretty close to you, let's just say within 15 kilometers, then you can try and change some things, change the height, change the antenna, and so forth. We'll give a few examples in this video, but let's just assume there is nobody around. You are the first one in your city and there are no other hotspots. This leaves you with two options. You either buy a hotspot and you just use one. This will give you very poor rewards. Personally, I would never do this. So that leaves us with the only second option, which is you have to buy 2 or more hotspots. You can either buy them yourself, or you can try to convince friends and family to also buy a hotspot and then build the Helium network locally together. Alright, then it's time for some examples. So in the first one we will change, for example, the height, and we'll move from the roof to the ground level, and we'll change 25 into 1, and everything else will leave the same. So let's click on simulate and we'll see what happens to our reach. As you can see, the reach has gone down significantly. So let's just assume that we didn't have any hotspots here and that we want to try and reach this hotspot. So again, there are two things that you can do. You can either change the height, which usually is the cheapest. So right now we're at the ground floor. Just put it next to a bedroom window and you'll probably be good to go. So let's just move it up to 15 feet, which according to the guide should be the second floor window, and click simulate. So right now it's still not exactly in the zone, but there is still a good chance that we might reach this one. Again, it is not an exact science, but as you can see, simply by putting it on a higher location, the difference is really huge. So let's go back to 1 feet and see what happens if we change the antenna. There you go. And now we'll upgrade the stock antenna and we'll buy a 5.8 dBi antenna, and then we'll see what happens. As you can see, the antenna did help. Our area has grown definitely bigger than before. But this example really shows you how important it is that you put your hotspot, or at least your antenna, on a higher location. So it's a lot cheaper to move up your antenna 1 floor than to buy a more powerful antenna. So again, this is the #1 conclusion that you have to make. The positioning of your hotspot is really crucial. If you can't change the positioning of your hotspot, you can still invest into a better antenna. But again, the best results will be given not by a stronger antenna, but simply by finding a better location. Now, as I said before, I was assuming that we are in the suburbs, but again, I don't know this terrain. So if you want to have a really cool tool, you can use this little button right here. It's download KMZ, so it will download a file. Next, we jump over to Google Earth. We click Launch Earth. Next, we click Projects, Open, Import KML file from computer. There you go. Then it actually loads the map that we just created, and it also puts the overlay for our frequency range, as you can see. Now, the really cool part is when we start zooming in, you can actually, of course, thanks to Google Earth, see the buildings. And then when you click the middle mouse button, you can almost go into Street View. And it looks like I chose the wrong terrain. So this is definitely not a suburb. We see a lot of tall buildings that are able to block our surroundings. So I'll have to adjust the simulation and change from suburb to urban. Now, if it still would not be completely clear, then you can use this little button right here and actually go to Google Street View straight from here, and then you can see the actual surroundings. Ta-da! So this is the ultimate way to verify your surroundings and choose the right terrain. Now, to prove how important terrain is, we'll do one more simulation and we'll say that we're in the urban location. Click Simulate. And as you can see, even with a 5.8 dBi antenna, if you're in the middle of a big city with a lot of tall buildings, you're basically screwed if you put it on the ground floor. Let's assume that we can move it to the 3rd floor, and that is of course a lot better already. Even with a 2.3 dBi stock antenna, you'll see that the situation again is a lot better simply by moving up in height. So please keep in mind, if you are using the free version, you only have 10 credits, so be a bit careful, because right now, of course, I'm clicking and simulating like crazy to make this video, but you guys only have 10 credits, and after that you'll have to pay. The next thing, of course, is what will be the rewards. Thankfully, I can make that part really short, and the only thing you have to do is look here, which is simulation output. So you'll see your reward scale, and then right now I sadly can't show it, but I think in about 2 weeks you'll be able to see here the daily rewards that you can expect. So yes, HotspotRF will be, I think, the first tool to actually calculate the rewards for you, and the only thing you have to do is simulate your situation as correctly as possible, and then you'll get your estimated rewards. Right now, the thing that you can do is click on the neighboring hotspots and see how much they are earning. So this guy is earning about 3 HNT rewards in a week, or 0.34 daily. This one is doing a lot better. He's earning about 12 HNT per day. This one is earning 5. This one is earning 4. So my suggestion is, if you have a lot of hotspots close to you, click on all of them and then just calculate the average, and it will be more or less the HNT rewards that you will get, or just wait 2 weeks and then you'll be able to see it right here. Now for the next part of this video, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper in how the rewards work, how the reward scale works, and how you can actually help and improve the network and improve the situation for everybody around you. To start off, I'll give you a little example on how important it is to choose a good location. So in this case, we see that it's pretty crowded downtown, and let's just assume that we live here, but we have a friend over here. So we can either choose to put it here, or we can put it here. So let's just click here. We keep the situation exactly the same, and then we click Simulate Location. And yes, you are seeing this correctly. Suddenly, all of these orange and yellow hotspots, they turn into light blue ones. This means that their reward scale went up significantly, simply because I put a hotspot right here. Yes, this means that you can actually influence the reward scale by choosing the right positioning of your hotspot and actually improving the network. And this is exactly the goal of the whole Helium protocol. So right now we are focused on building the network. So if you are actually helping to improve the network, then the rewards will go up. If you decide to put 10 hotspots in one room, then of course the rewards will go down, because you're not helping to grow the network. Now, in order to understand the situation even better, we click on Map Options, then we click on Hexagon Resolution, and we'll take a look at the Resolution 8 and Resolution 7. So 8 is about the size of your own little dead zone. So all the hotspots that would be in this little area right here, just around our own hotspot, those are usually hotspots you will not be able to reach. So no, it doesn't mean that if you have a hotspot right next to you that it doesn't work. It simply means that you will not be helping each other with any rewards. When we scroll up a little bit, we see that we have 2 hotspots next to each other right here, and they're kind of isolated, definitely on a resolution 8, because this one is not really connecting to this one, and we only have 3 hotspots here and a whole bunch of hotspots right here, and on top of that we have 2 of them very closely to each other. So let's take a look at the reward scale. Right now it's 0.3. This guy is still getting pretty good rewards if you ask me. So it's 7 in 7 days. I also propose to always look at the 7-day rewards, not 24, because then that can fluctuate a lot. This one is getting 42, so he's doing really well. So if our little theory is correct and we would put a hotspot right here, then we can assume that we are definitely not helping the network. This is a very small area, there are not a lot of hotspots, and if we then put them all together really close to each other, you can imagine that we won't be doing the network any favors. So let's click Simulate. As you can see, our reward scale went down from 1 to 0.25, and we were able to drag the reward scale of all the others around us down as well. So they were at 0.3 and now they're at 0.25. So as you can see, by positioning your hotspot, you don't only have influence on your own rewards, but you actually influence the entire network around you. You can do this in a negative way, as we've done here, or you can do it in a positive way, as we did in the first example. The next question is, how important is the reward scale? For this, we jump to the GitHub of the HIP15 proposal. We scroll down because I know nobody likes all the math, and we just jump to this very nice graph. It may look a little bit complex, but it's pretty easy. So as you can see, the yellow-orange one is the TX. TX stands for transmitter. This is the hotspot sending out the beacon. And then the blue ones, those are the witnesses. So on the first one, we have one witness, and that is the RX, which is the receiver. So they will be getting the blue rewards. This immediately brings us to the situation as to why it is important that you connect to another hotspot. Because if you are the only hotspot in town, then you simply can't get any witness or proof of coverage rewards. So basically you would be here if you are the only hotspot, which is 0. You won't be getting any real rewards. There is one reward that you will be getting, which is the challenge reward, but that is really low, and for that reason, if you're not able to connect to any other hotspots, I would not do the investment, or I would consider buying a second hotspot, and then you'll start in this situation right here. So all of these scales are assuming that you have a reward score of 1. So as soon as you have a reward score less than 1, then you'll simply be reducing the rewards that you could have gotten by that reward score. So if you would normally have 1, but our reward score is 0.25, then we would not get 1 reward unit, but we would actually get 0.25 reward units. This brings us, of course, to the next question: which reward score are we going to use? Well, basically, the reward score being used in this formula is the one of the hotspot sending out the beacon. So even if your own reward score is low and you're witnessing a hotspot that has a high reward score, then you're still able to get a really nice reward. To put that in human language, let's go back to the map. Right now we have a reward scale of 0.25, but if we are able to witness these green guys, then our rewards will still be good, and our rewards will be even better than witnessing one of these guys. So that is how it works. If one of these guys witnesses this one or this one, then he'll get the full rewards. If this one is witnessing me, then of course he will be kind of punished by my poor reward scale. So the final conclusion, even if you are in the middle of this, if you are on a high location, you'll be able to reach all of these green hotspots, and then you'll still get really great rewards. So as a final example, to really make it clear, just take a look at this one. So this guy has 50 HNT in 1 week, which is pretty good. So I assume he can reach some of these hotspots, the green ones. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, he's doing pretty similar, 45. Let's take a look at this one. As you can see, even though he has the same reward scale as all the others, he's doing not so good. He's only getting 7, so I assume he is at a lower height and he can't reach as many other hotspots. Let's take a look at the green one. Let's say this one. Ta-da! So this one has a reward scale of 1. Even though he is green, he's only getting 16 HNT, probably because of how many other hotspots he can reach. So this little color doesn't mean anything, so even if you have a red one, it doesn't mean you're not getting any rewards. Good. One final piece I want to touch on, that is this little line right here. So basically it means that the optimal situation is that if you have one hotspot sending out a beacon and you have 4 other hotspots being able to witness this beacon, that puts you in the optimal situation. So everybody will get some nice rewards, equal in size, assuming that everybody has a green reward scale. As soon as it gets a little bit more crowded, you'll be sharing the rewards with that extra person, and then it just continues that way. And then the rewards for each individual, of course, will go down when the number of witnesses goes up. So yes, that means that if you're in a location that has no hotspots whatsoever and you're the person pioneering in your country or your city, that the best way to start is, for example, you buy a hotspot and then you can try and convince 4 other of your friends to buy a hotspot as well. And then hopefully you can all connect to each other and then you'll be in the perfect situation to start with a Helium network in your local region. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope everything is a little bit more clear for you guys. At least this way you know what you are getting into. Keep in mind, for now we all have 10 free credits. I hope they will continue this plan, and maybe, just maybe, if all you guys would post a comment and say we love HotspotRF or something similar, hopefully they will see it and they will be motivated to continue with that free plan. Alright, that's it. If you enjoyed it and you made it all the way to the end, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and of course, post a comment and help us push this video in the YouTube algorithm. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.